Good evening, everyone. So, here are my post election thoughts. So, currently it's being reported that Joe Biden has the most votes ever of any presidential candidate in history. And most people would look at this and it is somewhat shocking. How is it that seemingly the worst candidate ever, a guy that can't even string two sentences together, a guy that seems senile with dementia, somehow got more votes than the great Barack Obama? How is it possible that Joe Biden got the most votes of any candidate in history? Well, I'll tell you. Because Joe Biden had something that no other candidate had. You see, Joe Biden didn't have to campaign. He could have just stayed in his basement. Didn't matter what he said, didn't matter what he did. Because he had the most powerful forces all working in unison to get him votes, to get him elected. He had the media, big tech, and celebrities. And when you combine these three things, it is a near unstoppable force, and that's what we saw. In 2016, Donald Trump was just up against the media. He had 24/7 negative, bad media coverage, and he was able to win despite all that. A very incredible feat. But this time it was much different. You add big tech and you add celebrities to the mix, and it's a near unstoppable force. You have the media create the narrative, you have celebrities amplify that narrative, and then you have big tech reinforce that narrative. And if you can control what people see, you can control what people think. And if you control what people think, you can influence how they behave. And that's what we saw in this election. You had Democrats preying on low information voters. You have people that are not very politically active, people that might not even care about politics, don't want to get involved, maybe scroll past the headlines, and that is about it. They don't read into any depth of any story, right? So the only thing they know is what they see in the headlines. What's it in the headlines? Well, a bunch of negative stuff about Donald Trump. And then what else do you have now? You have big tech putting together the largest marketing campaign in history getting people to vote. You can't scroll on any social media feed without having giant banner ads. Over the last few months, all you saw was these giant banner ads on every single social media platform. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, every single one had giant banner ads reminding people to vote. These are probably people that likely would have not voted, people that are low information voters that don't really care about politics, but they know two things. They scrolled past the headlines, and they know that Donald Trump is bad, and now they're being reminded to vote. And then they also have celebrities, too. They go turn on their basketball game, and there you have LeBron James also reminding them to vote. Snapchat registered over 700,000 people to vote. You think those were very high information voters? Look at the age group for most of the Snapchat users. They are in the younger age range. These are probably people right out of high school, 18, 19, 20 years old, that have very limited life experiences. And they might, like I said, most of them, for the most part, they probably don't even follow politics. But Snapchat, for months on end, reminded them to vote. LeBron James reminded them to vote. And the media reminded them that Donald Trump is bad. And when you put all of these things together, you have a near unstoppable force. And what is really terrifying about all this is all of the deceit, all of the lies, all of the underhanded tactics that Democrats used have essentially been validated. Now they know their system works. And I don't know how any candidate, Donald Trump or anyone else, can go up against the media, big tech, and celebrities and somehow win. Donald Trump got 7 million more votes than last election. Keeping in mind, in 2016, he won. So now you mean to tell me in 2020 he got 7 million more votes and he lost? The only way that is possible is with the influence of the addition of big tech and celebrities, which was not present in 2016. That's definitely not to the extent that it was here in 2020. And these forces are going to become emboldened. And what we've seen happen over the last few weeks, like for example, where we saw Twitter censor the New York Post story, these systems are going to be even more powerful. They're going to become even more emboldened now that they know how powerful and how well their system works. You could expect that these accounts will just be outright deleted. Can you imagine if an account, say if conservative media, just outright gets scrubbed from every single big tech platform? Big tech will have even more power to control what people see. And that's what is so scary about all of this. And another thing that I find to be very terrifying, I guess you could say, is that Joe Biden's voters, for the most part, they look at him as this is the man that champions the middle class. He's the candidate for the working class. Yet he is the candidate of not billion-dollar companies, of trillion-dollar big tech companies. The candidate of trillion-dollar big tech companies is somehow the candidate for the middle class. Joe Biden had 130 billionaires donating to his campaign. He is the candidate of Wall Street. He is the candidate of big business. He is the candidate of international business. He is the candidate of big tech. And somehow, Joe Biden's voters are stupid enough to believe that he is the candidate of the middle class. It's absolutely absurd. It goes back to catering and pandering to low information voters because they do not know this. They don't know any of these things. And then lastly, to finish up on a positive note, regardless of outcome, if there is one narrative that has been completely destroyed, it is the narrative that Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump got more minority votes in this election than any Republican since 1960. If there was only one group, essentially one group, to have any major deflection away from Donald Trump, in which they previously supported him and then they deflected away, and that was white men. So it was essentially white men that won Joe Biden the election, not minorities. Trump had huge surging numbers of black voters, way more than last time, and then did unbelievable with Hispanics, did good with Muslims, did good with gays, did better in every single minority demographic than in 2016, going down the line. The only one he did worse with was white men. So the entire narrative that Donald Trump is this racist, bigoted, evil person, it's completely destroyed. Anyway, those are my thoughts, and of course, there's still litigation, essentially hinging on 3 different states, on Pennsylvania, on Georgia, and then either Nevada and Arizona. I know Trump has launched investigations into all the different legal matters as they pertain to those states. So, I mean, fingers crossed, we will see what happens. Hopefully, he's able to possibly overturn some of the votes in those states. So we will see what happens. But those are my thoughts. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like my video, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.